Hello traders and welcome back to the Rich Spirit channel for a weekly Forex analysis, the best Forex analysis out there. Let's prepare our charts for the future upcoming week and let's get the most out of the markets. Since we have the markets going crazy, we gotta use that opportunity to make some motherfucking money. So let's get started with the EUR/USD and switch to other secondary pairs also and really plan our trades ahead. So on the EUR/USD you can still see that super strong downtrend on the EUR/USD, and let's zoom in so we can see the current situation for the last week. So last week, this is what we have seen, these 5 candles right here. So the market rallied up once again to the previous resistance, as I have mentioned in the previous Forex video. So after that, we have had a strong push to the downside. And in the end of Friday, we have massive reversal. And this is something interesting, guys, because we can now use the cheap price to sell more and get the price at least to this previous low. And that's really amazing setup. So you can try that. If price breaks this low, we can wait for a little pullback and go again with the bearish trend. And that's a beautiful scenario, guys. If somehow we break this resistance, I believe it will be just for the short term, so we can make some sort of a fake breakout. We can pull back to this previous consolidation area right here, and after that reject it and continue again with the bearish trend. So this is my only expectations. I don't see any bullish signals for a strong bullish reversal, so don't expect that from me. Let's now take a look at GBP/USD and see what's going on with the British pound. As you can see, similar situation here, very bearish market. On the weekly chart we have a little bit of consolidation that is due to the political changes in the in England. So let's take a look what is really going on here. So I have marked this interesting triangle pattern on the 4 and 8 hour chart. As you can see, pretty interesting setup. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 and now 5 waves inside the triangle pattern. So it usually breaks on the 6th wave. So it can be a bearish breakout and that would be just amazing. Just have to wait for a break below this lows right here, or it can be a bullish breakout. And the bullish breakout or the bearish we should get like the size of the whole pattern projected below or above the breakout. So this is what I personally expect. Really, for a bullish breakout, I think the chances are smaller. So I better go with the bears if I see this breakout. So if we see a candle close below these 2 lows right here, let's mark it up. I can enter this sell setup. Even now it's still good, because if we sell here, we are still at a resistance. Our risk will be smaller. For example, we can set the stop loss here or here, and the amounts of pips that we can get with this pattern are still fucking insane. So just imagine such a risk. Wait, if we take the trade from here, this is the risk and this is the potential reward. So that's also a good setup. But now let's switch to some other markets, guys, because it's full of opportunities these days when all the money are going. So let's see the Euro GBP, and as you can see here, we have a really amazing rally on the daily chart, and that is after a long-term downtrend. Okay, so let's analyze it a little bit and see what is going on here. So we have had the super rally, right? And then we have had this correction to the downside. Let's measure the size of the correction from the beginning of the impulse to the upside. We see that price started creating a support at the 61% zone area. We also have this support from the past where we have had a resistance, and now what we can get out of this market. Let's delete everything and switch to the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart you can see the bearish waves. We have one wave correction here, second wave, again slow correction, third wave. Now it's time for what? For the fourth wave. Okay, so this is what I expect. So if we break out from this wedge pattern, we can continue really with nearly as much pips as is the size of this pattern, right? So let's apply this after a potential breakout here. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. So we can pretty much test again these previous lows, and that is the best target for me. It is like 90% of the pattern target, so it's great. And we also have one mini support zone right here. Let's mark it up, and this is what I expect for the short term. But after that, I pretty much would consider a bullish continuation, because this is how I see the market. So if there, after that pullback to the downside, if we find support and we start breaking this whole structure, then we can get pretty good amount of pips trading this flag pattern. So we can take the size of the flag, apply it after the bullish breakout, and get back to these previous highs over here. So let's mark it up. This would be our resistance zone where we will take the profits, and this is the size of the pattern. So if we get that, it pretty well aligns with the resistances. So that is my setup for the Euro GBP. Also be careful with this pair because it's very volatile, it's very influenced by the news and so on. But this is how I see this setup. This is how I would trade it. Of course, there is a risk, but I think it have a great potential. Sorry, USD JPY, and whoa, what's going on? Ooh, I didn't even see that on Friday. So this is after the federal news came in, and look at this correction, guys. I was just hoping that this will happen soon. Why? Because here we have just incredible support and resistance area, right? Supply and demand. Here is where the most trades are taken. Okay, and here we have this beautiful bullish continuation. As you can see on the 8-hour chart, almost every candle was super bullish, and the trend was just going and going, didn't even correct. At some point of the time, here I was looking at the 1-hour chart. Let me see in the 15 minutes. So I have traded this little ascending triangle pattern, expected the price to continue bullish, right? And that happened, but with a very nasty correction, which actually took my stop loss. I have had a tight stop loss. Well, sometimes this happens. And then the price actually hit the target, which is exactly the size of the pattern. So here is the size of the pattern. Here is the breakout. And as you can see, 80% of the target was taken, then a little bit of correction, and this massive bullish move. Now it's good that we're correcting back to the support zone, because after a little bit more of a consolidation to the downside, we can get close to the support, attract enough buyers, and continue with the bullish trend. But as you can see, the euro is prepared for a good sell, and the USD JPY should be prepared for a good buy. So even from here we can see the continuation to the upside without a full pullback to the previous resistance. Anyways, we got close enough, so buyers were attracted. Waiting positions were filled. So we are gonna see that. If we manage to pull back a little bit, there will be a great opportunity for another longs. Or maybe we can have something more interesting, like a deeper correction to these previous lows and the trend line for another, let's see, 1, 2, 3, fourth touch of the trend line, and only then to continue bullish with the trend. Okay guys, that's it for this chart, guys. Let's move to the next one and let's see how gold is moving here. Here is interesting setup that I have traded on the 15-minute chart, and I want you guys to pay attention on these patterns on the lower time frames. Some people ask me, can we trade the lower time frames profitably if there is so many news and so much noise affecting the markets? I say yes, because when there is not too big volume in the markets, and there is no news, the markets are more calm and they like more easily respond to such a chart patterns like this one. So here is the expansion wedge. We have had this breakout here, and I expected the price should continue going to the downside. So I entered my trade somewhere here, set a stop loss, I believe, above these highs, and take profit as big as is the size of the chart pattern. So we apply this. Wait a second. Here is how this trade went profitable. So the target was pretty much completed, and that was one of the good scalp trades for this week. Then on Friday we see this massive rally to the upside. Okay, now what else? Here we can say a nice push by the bulls here on gold. And here it would be interesting if we see a double bottom formation. So if the price gets back to this neckline and breaks it, then we can expect a nice continuation to the upside, nearly as big as is the size of the whole pattern, right? So we take it, apply it, and we go back to this previous consolidation. And that would be a nice thing, because on the daily you can see that this can mean a lot. So the price would be already in reversal, and with some corrections we can start chasing again the previous highs. But that's a very optimistic scenario in my opinion, because currently we're in a very strong bearish trend, and even though here we have a good target and good resistance, good level that should be chased in the future one day, I am sure. We first have this massive resistance. It will be hard to break it, but with the war going on now between NATO, Russia, Ukraine, and so on, everything is possible for the gold and for the precious metals. So if we somehow break this resistance, if we retest it and we still continue to make higher highs, then probably this previous resistance here will be tested. But first, we are in a downtrend right now, so probably a nice continuation would be the opportunity here. Get back to this previous high here, or this low right here. So let's zoom out and see what else do we have. Okay, so this is a nice support. We have also this high over here, so that would be the first target. And we also have these little lows right here in this support area as the second target. And also, guys, you can notice this double top on this chart. So what is the target for the double top? Well, it is the size of the whole pattern, right? So we apply it after the breakout here, and we can see that this target, this little support right here, is exactly around 70% of the whole double bottom target. So we can even get a little bit below it, make a little spike, and only then price to recover back up. But that's also too far in the future. For now, the price is very, very bearish. So this is the first target that I recommend. Yet I don't trade gold now because I am not very sure about it. I don't like that the price is near this support and resistance. I don't like that the world is in some super crazy conditions after the coronavirus pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and so on and so on. So I'll stay away from this market or just take a little scalp trades. So let's switch to US oil, and here we have something interesting, guys. As you can see, oil have been massively bearish last weeks, but we already see some bullish attempts going on here. And what I analyzed just 5 minutes before I start the video is this beautiful support zone right here, and how it actually can attract more buyers. So if we see another bullish push, it will be probably to these two resistances, the trend line on the daily chart and the daily resistance. So if we have that, you can see we have two interesting patterns. One is the head and shoulder. So here is the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder, if we get such. And also we have the expansion wedge pattern, which gives a pretty nice target, the size of the whole pattern. And if we apply this above the breakout, the potential breakout that might happen, we can see a pretty nice opportunity for a bullish rally and chasing back the previous highs. So first target will be here and second right here, and then after maybe some correction to the downside, we can expect to chase back these previous ultimate highs, and that would be a beautiful setup. Of course, we can continue a little bit to the downside. That would be interesting as well. And if we get that, we'll have the double bottom pattern which also can lead us at the end to this target right here. So that would be interesting to trade this chart. Remember guys, US oil, crude oil, let's make this money. Now, what else to share with you guys? US 30, let's see. Here a good confusion happened on Friday, so I have lost one trade here on US 30, and I will explain you exactly what happened. So it was a trade on the 1 hour chart, and we have this triple top right here. So price broke below the support, and I expected the price to move as much as is the size of this pattern, okay? But looking at it, it took so long time the price even to get half of the profit. So I started get confused after the spike happened here. So my stop loss was tight. It was exactly like here. My entry was somewhere here, I believe. And I got stopped out, but never mind, such things happen. Also on the daily chart, you can see that we have had this double bottom pattern. So now it's in play since we have broken the resistance, and we have broken it even earlier here. So many traders have already stepped in already, and that will probably continue more to the upside, nearly as much as is the size of the pattern. So we'll probably get back to this previous high right here, or a little bit lower like here. That is how I see this market. Something like this, I guess. Okay. Can we go bearish from here? Well, sure we can. We have the Fibonacci retracements here, and we're near the 50%, but probably we will reject only from the 61% zone area. So that is what I personally expect. A little pullback and then a massive rally back to these previous lows. So that makes me thinking, can Euro USD really break this resistance and get back to this previous high, so we can find more sellers here? That is the question for this upcoming week. And that's all for this weekly analysis, guys. I want before to say goodbye with to check also Bitcoin, because here is something interesting, this beautiful descending triangle pattern. As you know, how we trade it is we take the size of the pattern, we apply it after the potential breakout, and we can get the price back to 10,000, I believe, or even less. 10,000, it would be a good target. Okay. So for now, price is pretty bearish. Maybe first we'll stop at 15,000 since it's a very round number, and then continue to 10,000. That would be interesting. And as you can see, Bitcoin is slowly dying, yet here we may find a little bit of support, because this is more close, in my opinion, to the real price of this Bitcoin, which is somehow created out of the nothing. And this is more realistic price than this one here right now. if it gets worldwide, if it gets like accepted worldwide cryptocurrency, I mean in more of a institutional level, then really its price should go up back to these previous prices. But for now we're in a bearish trend. So that's it from this weekly forex analysis, guys. Stay disciplined, stay healthy, stay wealthy, trade your plan and plan your trades. Don't give up, just be consistent. Even if you have some losses, take a break, learn from your mistakes and continue pushing forward. So that's all from me for today. Peace out, guys, and see you in the next videos.